What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen this. I was going down. Make sure you hit the like button, hit that subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. You got Ilhan Omar saying Somalis are not going anywhere, and she even repeated it as much of a threat to ICE agents. Check it out.
Somalis are not terrorizing this nation. We are helping it thrive. Somalis have always seen themselves as a fabric of this nation. So not only are we not going anywhere, we are not going to allow anybody to make us feel less Minnesotan or less American.
Well, you got bad news. Definitely had bad news. You got here, says Somalians and other Muslim migrants are in full-blown panic right now, terrified that the immigration raids are about to hit their neighborhoods because President Trump is done tolerating this chaos. As y'all know, if y'all seen my last video, and I'm sure y'all seen it all over X, all over the news, and anywhere you click on social media wise, that you know what happened in Washington D.C. Definitely sad. One thing about it, you're having a lot of individuals, we've seen it. We've seen it with President Trump. We've seen it with even just recently, with Charlie Kirk, and other individuals, other police officers, ICE agents, and now you have two National Guardsmen in D.C., and I know for a fact if we're truly tired of it, I know President Trump is. Check it out right here.
The president has called to end the temporary protected status of Somalians living in the state of Minnesota.
Blatant marriage fraud, visa overstays, people claiming to work at businesses that can't be found, forged documents, abuse of the H-1B visa system, abuse of the F-1 visa.
When someone's temporary protective status is lifted, they are now illegal alien. Whether it's Minneapolis, could be Philadelphia, could be anywhere. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and remove those elements out of our country because at that point, especially the game here under false pretenses, that's what ICE does as a law enforcement mission. We have to ensure that we remove those people from our communities.
Definitely. Especially even, just going as far as it's so much money. I know y'all, if y'all haven't checked out that recent video that I posted, pretty sure I posted yesterday. I know I posted 2 this week. But they're, having that video of how it's billions of dollars, taken, I take that, taken from, taxpayers and sent, to their country. And literally, not only sent to their countries, but money for themselves. And it's definitely insane. Says President Trump, basically, to the imported Somalis we have in our country. And literally, I truly believe that there will be, good things. I know things are getting bad right now with a lot. I truly know, when it comes to, I know I've been on, the stuff that's happened in Minnesota, obviously something that's happened in Washington, D.C. We've lost, the amazing, Charlie Kirk. But one thing about it, I know things will start looking up. I'm definitely tired of it. Especially what's going on in Minnesota. I didn't know too much that was going on, but when I actually looked deep down into it and seen what they were doing, it's definitely sickening. Check it out, President Trump.
Hi, sir.
Sure. Hi.
What do the Somalians have to do with this Afghan guy who shot the national?
Nothing, but Somalians have caused a lot of trouble. They're ripping us off for a lot of money. There's a tremendous amount of money going back to Somalia. What the hell are we paying money to Somalia for?
Exactly.
But they're ripping off our country at a level that few people have been able to see before. That's about the only thing. You talk about competence. We have Ilhan Omar, who does nothing but complain about our country and our Constitution. Mm-hmm. And she comes from a country with practically no country.
Nothing.
It's devastated. It's crime-ridden. It's a mess. It's a disgrace. And we took their people tremendous. We're not taking their people anymore. We're not taking their people. And we're getting a lot of their people out because they're nothing but trouble. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Go ahead.
Definitely. So you got to post President Trump. And honestly, I'm not even going to lie. This is something that, and I try to watch, words and stuff like that. But it's truly something that, is definitely needed, to be said. This is a post by President Trump Says here, the seriously retarded governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, does nothing either through fear, incompetence, or both, while the worst congressman slash woman in our country, Ilhan Omar, always wrapped in a swallowing hijab, and who probably came into the USA illegally, in that you are not allowed to marry your brother, does nothing but hatefully complain about our country, its constitution, and how badly she is treated, when her place of origin is a desolate, backward, and crime-ridden nation, which is essentially not even a country for lack of government, military, police, schools, etc., which is absolutely correct. Even as we have progressed technologically, immigration policy has eroded those gains and living conditions for many. I will permanently pause migration for all third world countries to allow the U.S. system to fully recover. Terminate all of millions of Biden illegal admissions, including those signed by Sleepy Joe Biden's auto pen, and remove anyone who is not. So trust and believe President Trump is doing everything, in his power, to make things happen to where a lot of this BS isn't happening. I mean, we've seen so many crime coming from these individuals, from different countries. Mind you, it's already crime anyways. I'm telling y'all, it's definitely sad right here. Seen this post and definitely wanted to, share with y'all because this is definitely something that's needed to be said. Check it out.
I just got done listening to Ilhan Omar talk about how horrible and terrible and dirty and everything else that this country is. Denigrating this country, denigrating half of the people in it. This country has been very kind, benevolent, and gracious to her and countless others.
Mm-hmm.
We gave her asylum. We gave her a place to live. We gave her an education. We gave her a pathway to become a sitting United States congressman. But to me, it goes deeper than that. See, I'm an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran. I was 22 years old when those planes flew into those buildings, and me and thousands of other young men across this country answered the call to go over there and combat this evil that was on our shores, that had finally hit us. And what we were told over and over again is that we go over there and we fight them over there, we will not have to fight them here. And now here we are. We're retired. We're out. We're ready to start pursuing a life of our own. And what does this country do to that enemy that we went over there and we fought to keep over there because that's what we were told? We kissed our families goodbye. I watched my wife cry while I got on that bus to go to the airport or go to the airfield. I watched my son cry because he didn't know if or when he was going to see me again. And then I come home. I've been retired for 8 years. And I come home and what are we seeing? We're seeing entire communities being taken over by the very people that we fought to keep off of our shores. Dearborn Mission is completely freaking taken over. Now we have mosques in Minnesota, Texas, Missouri, all over the country,
yeah,
promoting Sharia law. Do we really have to tell people that Sharia law is incompatible with the United States Constitution? We were told that if we fought them over there, we would not have to fight them here. But what do we have? What did you do? You elected it mayor of New York. You gave it Senate seats in Minnesota.
Come on now.
Now I want you to turn around. I want you to find an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran somewhere around you, and I want you to look them in the eye and tell them why they should not feel betrayed. Do it. I dare you.
I feel like this definitely needed to be, it definitely needed to be posted. His TikTok is Wade.Allen7, so y'all can go check that out. Definitely crazy. I'm not even gonna lie. Definitely crazy. Seeing these different posts, and I truly, y'all. I truly, and I thank him for, his service, and anybody else, it's sickening. It's definitely sickening that these things are happening. And I definitely, appreciate, that, what President Trump is doing, because it definitely needs to be a complete turnaround, what's going on. Him even saying, and stating that, not just completely just going in on Ilhan Omar, but just saying that he gave you, that place to stay. Mind you, her country, it's nothing. Gave you a place to stay, money in your pocket, a job, food, this, that, and the other. You come here, taking billions, sending it back to your country, pledging to your country. It's definitely sickening. We must not forget, just in 2020, this is Ilhan Omar's net worth of 65,000. Mind you, coming from a country of nothing. We fast forward 2024, 30 million, y'all. 30 million. It's sickening. It's truly sickening. Says right here, Ilhan Omar married a brother to come to America poor. Gets married again and divorced. Then for her third marriage, she marries a white man and now has a net worth of 30 million. But she continues to trash America and white men.
I would
telling y'all, it's sickening.
Our country should be more fearful of white men across our country, because they are actually causing most of the deaths within this country.
Sickening, y'all. I'm telling y'all, sickening. Come to America, you obviously trashing white men, married one, then trash America as a whole. But then the part that always gets me and frustrates me is that these individuals continue to disrespect America, but want to live in America and don't want to go to their country. Like it confuses me. It confuses me a lot. It truly does. This is Benny Johnson. It's posted by says Donald Trump confirmed tonight that Minnesota Ilhan Omar committed immigration fraud and married her brother. You have here, and I don't want to get this wrong, but you have this here and says basically that Homeland Security has evidence. Check it out right here, y'all.
Yeah. Because I'll break a little news on this. I'm pretty close with a lot of people at Homeland Security, and allegedly there's a demonstrable amounts of evidence that the government has that proves this. And perhaps they're trying to figure out which way to go around it. I know it's got to be a touchy issue, obviously, But what do you say to this, Congresswoman?
A little too touchy for family, but in Congress, it's going to be really difficult to have a real investigation like we should. Look, Nancy Mace bravely put a privileged resolution on the floor condemning the remarks made by Ilhan Omar. And Ilhan Omar was trying to troll everyone in the process leading up to the vote. And she just simply wanted to censure her. She said you should not be on the Foreign Affairs Committee with the rhetoric that you have. And then, of course, it went against our Congressional Code of Ethics that we agree to when we are signed in as members of Congress. And we
you have a code of ethics? You have a code of ethics that says you can't marry your brother?
That might need to be put in. But we definitely have a code
I think that's in the Bible. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Our Bible.
Yes.
And anyway, you had Republicans block that. You had Republicans table this motion, maybe some making excuses for the First Amendment. The First Amendment doesn't protect you from consequences. And when you have a code of ethics that you are using your office to absolutely defy, there needs to be accountability there. And, maybe some were just covering their own backs to keep other stories down. I don't know the reasons why people were voting to table this motion. But to have an actual investigation, I don't know if we have a strong enough Republican Party at this time to actually commit to that and get it done. But this is someone who absolutely should be investigated. I think she should be sitting in prison or at least sent back to Somalia, rather than George Santos being put in solitary confinement for telling a fib, years back. This is, that was gross that he was expelled from Congress, and the charges that he got. I'm advocating for Santos's pardon, and I would much rather see Ilhan Omar having consequences for her conduct rather than him.
Yeah, I mean, it's just it very much does reveal the soul of a person. How you treat somebody who's deceased, that tells you everything. Yeah. How she's treated Charlie Kirk after his horrific death at the hands of a left-wing radical is sickening. And just a post here from U.S. Immigration Services: marriage fraud is a crime. They're just reminding us here. They've sent a number of posts, a number of bangers actually out about this. I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to send a message. I don't know. Report marriage fraud here.
Interesting. I think we need to make some
Curious.
reports, Benny.
Okay.
You have quite
All
the
right.
following. I think we could get a few reports made on this one.
I guess we'll see. Thank you, Congresswoman. Obviously, this is something. All of these topics are very interesting, but man, Victor Marks, I'm gonna hit him up, man. This is awesome. Very exciting times.
This is an amazing man.
Very exciting
Eileen,
times.
His wife is going to be right alongside of him, and she's even more powerful. And really, the encouraging voice behind him going into ISIS territory, rescuing women and children, because he told her it was a suicide mission, and she said, "I would rather be a widow than married to a coward." Yeah.
Telling y'all, definitely something that I feel as if, obviously need to see, definitely need, furthermore, investigation on a lot that's going on now with a lot of these individuals. And it's just sad, it definitely is sad, that you have individuals that are just doing whatever, when it comes to crime, when it comes to corruption, in the United States, there's a lot, and it's definitely messed up. I'm not even gonna lie. Truly. I mean, you literally have Ilhan Omar pledging, to Somalia. Like I've said, you constantly have, Ilhan Omar that is putting, all of her attention on to Somalia and, the people that's around her, and it truly irritates me, a lot to see how much money is taken, and given to their country. But I truly don't understand it. But, definitely hoping that, things, get better and that they actually, do something about it this time, and there's more of action. But you already know, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I definitely appreciate y'all. Much love to every single last one of y'all. Catch y'all next one.